and welcome as we're back under the Saudi sun as the big guns have rolled into town for another Riyadh Rumble. Anthony Joshua, former two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world, takes on former UFC champion Francis the Predator Ngannou.
I think this main event, Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou, is actually bigger than October 28th's main event. The stakes are bigger, everything feels bigger. It just feels more important if you ask me.
Everybody's in agreement it's going to be exciting, and the likelihood of it hearing the final bell are slim.
It's about to go down, the battle of the behemoths.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is Knockout Chaos documentary. Documentary, yeah?
Yeah. So Eddie, Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. How the hell did we get here?
Well, we are on the cusp of seeing the fight that the fans have wanted for years and years and years.
The heavy-handed Alabama slammer against the former super heavyweight champion, AJ.
That's a fight that 6 years in the making. And when we finally got there, when Wilder came back and I interviewed him, and I said, Wilder, what do you want next? Give me your 3 next opponents. And he said, Anthony Joshua. I was like, oh my God, here we go. We're gonna get it.
Contracts were signed. The plan was set to announce the fight in the ring at the end of the night of the Day of Reckoning.
And all that had to happen, Joshua had to get through Valley, and Wilder had to get through Parker.
Which of course he was going to. He's the big favourite. It's Deontay Wilder. Of course he's gonna beat Joseph Parker.
And then we had that fight.
Fight that people have been after for 5, 6, 7 years.
And in my head, I'm thinking, just get through it, guys. Please, just get through it.
All of a sudden, Deontay Wilder walks out, he fights Joseph Parker.
He's gonna land that right hand, and AJ's gonna be Otto Volin, and I'm gonna get in the ring, and I'm gonna do a little face-off, and oh my God.
We have one of the biggest fights we've been waiting to see for almost 6 years.
We almost had that fight.
It was very close.
But in boxing, you know what happens to the script? It often gets ripped up. Joseph Parker had other ideas.
This is such a fun matchup. Deontay Wilder, as you know, can end it with a straight right hand.
So I like this approach from Parker, holding the center of the ring, allowing space behind him.
First round, Parker round.
Jab back, Wilder up against the ropes. Oh, right hand from Parker. I'm telling you, he's mean.
Second round, Parker round.
Joseph Parker, caught him again.
Third round, Parker round.
I'm just gonna hold on here.
Fourth round, what the hell is going on here?
Wilder stumbled back a little bit.
Sixth or seventh, he hurts Deontay Wilder, rocks him. And we're just sitting there thinking, you know, the biggest fight in boxing is slipping away.
Parker thinking about the exclamation point. Joseph Parker has just beaten the Bronze Bomber and did it in dominating fashion.
And we all look at each other and used to say, oh my God, 2, 3 months of hard work, years of trying to make this fight, it's just crumbled away.
Boxing never goes to plan. There's always something. There's always something that happens. I'm like, okay, AJ, just get your job done. Like right now, yeah, okay, your head's all over the place because there you go. That's the fight you've been waiting for years. It's probably not going to happen anymore. Just get your job done.
AJ goes out, looks sensational.
He looks focused, AJ. Looks switched on.
Boxed out of his skin.
This felt like a new guy who knew who he was.
Well, there's a right hand for AJ again.
Wallin, he's getting bullied at the moment.
That's the AJ we see him attacking, we see him aggressive, we see him using his punch power.
He looked a bit lighter on his feet. He was landing the punches. He was enjoying himself. He was sticking his tongue out. He was talking to Otto Von. I'm like, yes, he's back.
This is the AJ of old.
My eyes just lit up. I was like, wow, he's back.
Vollin's face looks
And it was a quite brutal display. A corner made a right decision to pull him out.
Oh, it's over. They stopped the fight.
So what we saw from Anthony Joshua that night was a brand new AJ who's ready to go.
At the end of 5 rounds, the winner by technical knockout,
He is AJ Anthony Joshua.
And then he got his hand raised, and I'm like, AJ, in his eyes, is almost disappointed. Because he's back, right? He's AJ. But the guy he was supposed to dance with in the ring isn't back. He's done. He's not winning. So then it leaves the question mark, and it's a big one. Who does AJ fight next?
Here I am, and I never, ever, ever want to be so alone. I'm never gonna have to see. I know that you love me so.
We're live. Hear me? Yes, we're live on a Friday with some breaking news. You know yourself. I have confirmed via Turkey Al Sheikh and multiple sources that it's a done deal. It's Francis Ngannou against Anthony Joshua, AJ, who went 3-0 in 2023. A comeback season, if you will, for the former Olympic great. Actually, you should never say former Olympic great. You're always an Olympic great. All right, here we go.
So Ariel, October 28th, 2023. What does that mean to you?
October 28th is a very important date in the history of combat sports, and it really was the culmination of a story that really took place over 2 years. If I could take a step back, I would love to. There was a guy named Francis Angano, who at the time was the UFC heavyweight champion, and he was going into a fight against Cyril Gane in January of 2022. He had one fight left on his UFC contract. Goes in there, he's losing the fight, down 2 rounds to none, has to all of a sudden wrestle. He's never been known as a wrestler, and he beats Frenchman Cyril Gane, shocks the world. Now we're thinking, okay, is he gonna resign? Is he gonna stick around? Is he gonna get a better deal? Are they gonna let him box? Are they gonna let him do this? That ended up being a whole year. Now we get to January of 23, and all of a sudden at a post-fight press conference, Dana White, UFC president, says we're out of the Francis Ngannou business. From the moment Dana White made that announcement, everyone and their mother said, Francis messed up. Everyone said he made a huge mistake. Everyone said he, quote unquote, fumbled the bag. But what did he say to us? Just wait. This is all about the independence and the dream of becoming a boxer. Then we get to July of 2023, and it's Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury in Riyadh. What do they say? Oh, you're gonna embarrass yourself. He's gonna smoke you. Look at the training footage. Look at the open workout footage. This guy can't punch. What is he thinking? This is gonna be a joke, it's gonna be a mockery. And then we finally get to October 28th. It was the guy that everyone said was crazy. It was the guy that everyone said had screwed up. The guy that everyone said should have signed before the Cyril Gane fight. He should have taken that long-term deal. He should have taken the John Jones fight. He should have taken the security. He should have taken whatever the UFC was offering him. And then of course that guy was gonna overcome the odds. Of course he was the one that was gonna knock down Tyson Fury. Of course he was the one that was gonna shock the world. Because if you have taken the time to get to know Francis Ngannou and know about his story and know where he comes from and what he's had to survive and overcome just to get to October 28th, but man, it all worked out for him.
Hey, mate, come check this out, honestly. Look down there right now.
Hope you're enjoying New York, my friend. Well, listen, I've got good news for you. The fight's on. It's a done deal. We got AJ.
I'll beat him anytime, anywhere.
You got this.
I mean, they're taking it to a new level for Hollywood blockbusters.
I want to see everything. I want to see how they do the press conferences. I want to see how the belts look. I want to see how the commercials look. I want to see how the poster looks. That's a part of the story, right? That's all part of being a fan.
We're back in Soho, back in central London. This is the genesis of these events. Bring all the big names here, get all the media here. The sands of time are shifting. With every event, we're getting different permutations. This would have been Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, and now we've got Angano back as a player, the man who made himself a player with the performance against Tyson Fury. It's an amazing story. This is an event about power. Two great fighters. Two men of African descent. It's another Rumble in the Jungle, except we're doing it in Saudi Arabia. Knockout chaos.
AJ, what was your first thoughts when you heard of Francis Ngannou as a potential opponent for you?
Every fight leads to somewhere. So this fight is my everything, my soul, my spirit, my mind, my body. And we'll see where it leads me. I'm just searching for greatness, really. Continuously searching for greatness, how I can elevate myself, push forward in every aspect of my game. And this is just another challenge. And during these challenges, I find out so much about myself, even though I already know who I am. And now I'm gonna discover some new things.
I mean, AJ is really a classical example of how boxing can change and save a young man's life. Got himself in trouble in Watford in the early days, got himself arrested. He found boxing late on. He wanted some structure. He wanted that regimental lifestyle to try and focus his mind and get him away from trouble. The progress in the gym led him to national championships, which he won. Before he knew it, he was up in Sheffield with a GB team. He was thrown in the deep end of all the tournaments. Goes to the European Championship, goes to the World Championships, and then a few tournaments later, he's in the Olympic Games. And he goes and wins gold in London. I mean, there is no bigger platform in world sport to go on and become a superstar. And we boxed him in Glasgow, in Manchester, in Liverpool, in London, in Newcastle, in Cardiff. He was knocking people out in every fight. And then all of a sudden, AJ is the world heavyweight champion at the O2 Arena in his 16th fight. And then the big one, Vladimir Klitschko comes on. 90,000 people at Wembley witnessed Klitschko down in the 5th, AJ down in the 6th, and comes back in that epic stoppage in the 11th round, arguably the biggest night in the history of British boxing. And an American-Mexican fighter under the name of Andy Ruiz slides in my DMs and says, "I'm ready." And I thought, that's a good fight. What a terrible decision. Anthony Joshua suffers his first defeat, stopped by Andy Ruiz at Madison Square Garden. And as we do in this country, we built him up, and when he got beat, we knocked him right back down again. That pressure and the way that switch flicked surprised him and hurt him. AJ, what do you want to do? I'm taking a rematch. And AJ schools him over 12 rounds, wins every round to become two-time heavyweight world champion. We're chasing undisputed. Bang, Alexander Usyk with the WBO. Gets beaten again. Everyone's saying it's over for him. And you know, I sit down and said, do you still love the sport? Do you still have the hunger? I've never been hungrier. All of a sudden, he's boxed 3 times in 12 months. And I think he's better than he's ever been. Every fighter will tell you how boxing either changed or saved their life. That's Anthony Joshua. He's a guy that became obsessed by a sport that saved him. And if you stay in the game and you work hard and you stay consistent, sometimes everything comes back around. And right now, he's got the best chance he's ever had to become undisputed heavyweight world champion. This is a dream opportunity for the sport of boxing, and we're also invested to give the fans incredible nights, and this is another fantastic fight for Riyadh's season.
Francis, you haven't pulled any punches in the build-up to this fight already. You've come out and said, I've heard that AJ doesn't have a chin. I'm going to test that out. Is that your plan? Is it seek and destroy?
Well, I'm going to fight him, so what do you think I'm going to do? Is to look for his chin. I mean, that's what happened in the fight. Yes, I heard that he doesn't have a chin. I don't know if it's true or not. We're gonna find out. I hope I had an opportunity to test that out. That's my wish.
This doesn't go the distance. Someone's getting put to sleep. We could see several knockdowns. Someone's getting hurt in this fight.
I'd be very surprised if it went the distance. I mean, Angano, as we've seen, is very heavy-handed. I think he'll be a lot more aggressive in this fight. I think his confidence must be sky high after the Tyson Fury performance. And AJ's confidence is sky high after the Otto Wilding performance.
She's knockout chaos, because I think it will be a knockout. They both got bombs in their hands, and it's going to be interesting to see how the fight develops.
There's nobody in the world who hits as hard as Francis Ngannou. He hits as hard as a small family car. You know, people were talking about, but does that power translate to boxing? It does. We've seen that. We've seen that at the Battle of the Baddest. The power translates. That makes him a very, very scary man.
Honestly, someone's getting hurt, and I think it might be from the very first couple of rounds. Like, there is no feel out round here. In boxing, there's that kind of first round where everyone's looking at each other like, okay, what are you doing? Wait. No. This is straight boom.
AJ needs to be confident and dominant in this fight. That will bring its own dangers in as well. But I don't think we'll hear the final bell.
I saw an interview you did recently where you said if you were to put AJ down with the same shot, you don't think AJ gets up.
Yeah, Tyson showed to be very resilient.
Who hasn't knocked Tyson down? So many people have knocked Tyson down. Who is it? What's the guy's name?
Steve Cunningham?
What's the one before that? Genovich?
Yeah.
McDermott?
Yeah. Deontay Wilder a few times.
Angano? So many people have knocked him down.
You always come back.
We'll see.
What do you want?
We'll see.
I'm looking for,
There's two AJs, isn't there? People say this anyway. There's Anthony Joshua and there's Femi. When you speak to AJ's old school friends, they don't call him Anthony, they call him Femi. And I've always asked AJ about that. And he's always says that AJ, Anthony Joshua, he's smart, he's polite, he's endorsements. Femi is about business. And when I saw him against Angano, I said, oh, that's Femi. And I smiled because I know that means it's business.
People underestimate me a lot. But I'm not saying you, but people, innit?
It's not underestimating you.
It's not even the strength that I carry, it's the brain. I'll process what I need to process, I'll do what I need to do. I will be victorious.
That's the guy that was begging for an opportunity. That's the guy that was coming through, trying to get on Team GB. That's the guy that was fighting for the first world title. That's Femi. Do you expect to knock out AJ?
Absolutely.
We'll see what happens, no? You never know. I have my own legacy, my own chapter, my own destiny that's destined by God. As much as it is about Angano, is as much as it's about me. The challenge that I have in front of me only makes me learn about myself. He's not the challenge. I'm the challenge. How far can I go? And I'll do whatever it takes to get past whatever's in front of me.
Femi's here now, and there's a distinct difference between the two.
May the best man win.
Well done, guys.
May the best win.
Should be a great fight. March 8th, live on DAZN. As I said, old force versus new force. One of the forces will go on, and one of the forces will go sliding down.
Do you like that?
What's up, guys?
This is Eric. He's about to tell us how a bunch of MMA mavericks took on the whole
boxing game.
It's kind of a cool story the way it all came about. I've talked to Francis quite a bit about the boxing situation, what he wanted to do. You know, he had an idea of maybe he wanted to go to Cuba, you know, he wanted to find this type of boxing coach. And to me, in the back of my mind this entire time, you know, I said, why not Dewey?
I need ice cream and I need cookies. Those are my two vices.
Man, I've known Dewey for like 15 years. This dude's always coached boxers. He's coached championship level boxers.
I'm looking at the camera at you. Well, let me tell you something. Francis is very rare, and I think people really should embrace what he's doing.
Over time, it was me and Dewey showing up every day. And then I think John was kind of like that glue that brought everything together.
J'ai rencontré Francis à Paris dans les années 2012-2013. C'était dans une salle donc de MMA. Moi, j'entraînais là-bas en tant que professeur de boxe anglaise. Il a commencé à venir assister à mes cours très régulièrement. À partir de là, donc, l'aventure a commencé.
Just the meeting of the minds, essentially, really solidified the whole camp.
This is what people don't understand about Francis. You can't measure the determination, the grit, the drive, desire, discipline that it takes.
Entre le combat qu'il y a eu face à Fury et celui-ci face à Joshua,
the guys just come light years ahead in such a small amount of time.
La différence, elle est vraiment énorme.
I think it just goes to show what type of athlete we have.
Right up.
The fight is 10 rounds. That's the fight. Unless something happened in between, you go to 10 rounds, you know. And even if you wish a knockout or something, if you hope, it's not necessarily something that you can predict. So you prepare for the worst, and in case you met with the best along the way, you embrace it.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people are missing is, let's say, for example, there's a lot of fighters that they box a low level for such a long period of time. They don't ever really take that step up. Then they do take that step up, and let's say they prove themselves to be world class. They're considered world class. Well, Francis Angano, who's had plenty of fights and become a UFC heavyweight champion, he's had one fight in boxing at world level, and he more than proved himself to be world class. So why are we not considering him to be a world class heavyweight? We are. We think that everybody else should too. At the end of the day, it's a fight, and they're both fucking absolute specimens, and that in itself, the physicality alone, makes him a handful. Plenty to have a look at. There's also his MMA fights that we've been able to have a look at. And I'm confident there's enough there for us to have an understanding of certain things that we can have to be careful of, certain things we can capitalise on.
Ah, motherfucker. Just there. I get, oh, fuck. Damn.
Oh, really respect.
Respect to you as well.
People would give up, you know. They don't need it.
What, they would finish?
Yeah, they would finish because they achieved everything.
Nah.
You still got it. You still want it.
Yeah, I still want to learn.
That's the beauty, yeah. And you're learning. You're a learner.
I still want to learn a lot. But this is exciting though. Very exciting. Did you feel like you was gonna die?
I feel like I'm gonna die.
I've had this, you know.
He didn't stop the fight. I think I would die.
Yeah, I've had this. Where I felt like I was gonna die like after a fight. I don't know how to explain it. Your body, you're not. See how I am now? I'm not the same person. Breathing hurts. To hold yourself up. Your body is giving up on you. Because your body, like on a cellular level, your body's fighting a lot of diseases, everything, every day. Now, maxing it out to its full capacity, where it's now fighting to just keep you alive, like breathing, being in a fight, your adrenaline, oxygen, everything is just at its full capacity. If your body's not strong enough, that's when you pass out, for example. Your body just can't cope. But I've been on like he's had a fight, I've had a fight where it pushed us to like a limit. Yeah. People don't understand, innit?
Boxing doesn't have a schedule. And the reason being it doesn't have a schedule is because once you put a plan together, a bill, a fight, something will happen. Injuries, contract disputes, the list goes on. It'll always be something. You very rarely get the perfect storm. So with that, you have to be very adaptable. And Joseph Parker is the perfect example of that.
The great thing about Joseph Parker is that for a man that hurts another man, he's one of the nicest human beings you will ever meet.
One of the most loved heavyweights, boxers, maybe men on the planet.
He might be the nicest guy in the world.
And everybody says that about him.
Him and Andy Lee are like that now. It's probably the best trainer-fighter relationship we've seen. They're almost friends, like good friends.
He's in the form of his life. The consistency has been great for him. The results have proven that he's fighting regularly, in the gym regularly, in camp regularly. I still think he hasn't reached his peak yet, so that's a scary thought because he's only going to get better.
Right hand there when he does.
He's had 4 fights in a 12-month period, which is unheard of for any top heavyweight.
Nothing beats activity.
And all fighters say, I'll fight anybody, anytime, but rarely does it happen. But Joe's probably one of the only ones who actually make it happen.
The knockout is something that we have in boxing that nobody else has in all of sport. It doesn't matter what the state of play is, it doesn't matter what the scoreline is, everything can change in a split second. And it's violent and it's sudden and it's final and there is no taking it back. And that is an alarming prospect, even for a fighter. That is what puts a fear of God into them in training. Parker, he's fearless because he's going in with somebody in Zhang who is more than capable of doing that.
Zhilei Zhang is a Chinese heavyweight that everybody wants to ignore.
6'6", Olympic silver medalist. And while everyone was saying no to fighting Joe Joyce, Zhilei Zhang said, yes, please, I'll take on Joe Joyce. I'll walk towards the fire. And by the way, he did much more than walk towards the fire. Zhilei Zhang stopped him twice.
I could make an argument, and a very, very good one, that Zhilei Zhang is the 3rd best heavyweight on planet Earth.
He's the Great Wall of China embodied.
And Zhang has that kind of power.
He's got a dangerous left hand.
He's got great technique as well. This is the thing about him. He's huge, but there's some subtlety and some finesse there. He's got brilliant boxing mechanics.
There's only one man on planet Earth that's going to agree to fight Zhilei Zhang, and that's Joseph Parker, because Joseph Parker doesn't care.
I would say 2 top 5 heavyweights in the world coming up against each other on an undercard, which is amazing in itself.
But it may well be knockout chaos with those 2 as well.
Hey! Get up! Oh, hey, Tyson. Where are they? Get up! Thank you very much. Sounds like Paddy. Sounds like Paddy. He sounds like Paddy. Come on, see if you know this fella. Come here. Jimmy, do you know this guy, Jimmy? What's his name?
Are you Tyson?
Do you know this guy?
John Mangans.
Huh?
It's crack John. He lives 3 miles from Paddy.
What Your Excellency is doing, Turkey Alice Sheikh,
He's taken a sport that has become more of a business disguised as a sport and taken it back to the pureness that everyone fell in love with.
From Fraser. This is from Fraser. And this is
The pure boxing sport where the best are gonna fight the best, the champions are to fight the champions.
This is a boxing nut, a hardcore boxing fan with budget, with a dream, with a vision. He's come along, and maybe boxing can be broken in little bits here and there, and it's not working, this guy's not fighting this guy. He's coming along and just sitting above it all and saying, fix that, we'll fix that, we'll fix that. Winner fights who, winner fights you. He's just playing his own game.
Which is, it's astonishing. Again, this doesn't happen in the sport of boxing. It doesn't happen.
And that's what made boxing so great. What if Sugar Ray Leonard and Duran didn't fight? What if Hagler and Leonard didn't fight? Hitman and Sugar Ray? What if all these great guys of yesteryear said, no, I'm not gonna fight each other. I wanna stay undefeated. The history of boxing would have been tarnished since the 70s.
I was looking at the comments in the interview that I did with Fury, Usyk, and His Excellency, and it was all like, Turkey for president, promoter of the year, this man has saved boxing. Beloved, right? Because as opposed to creating any kind of disturbance or dissension in other sports, they're actually bringing people together in combat sports.
This is what you want. You want fighters, then fighter A to fight fighter B. You want an opportunity to understand who is the best.
The fact that he's a fan helps tremendously because you're talking to someone that actually understands and acknowledges the sport. He, examines these guys.
We're getting the fights that he wants, and we're getting the fights that we want. And do you know why? Because they're the same thing. He is a hardcore boxing fan. He is one of us.
And so, because His Excellency seems to be a genuine fight fan, genuine combat sports fan, and not just a guy who wants to see big fights, like loves all the detail, right? Loves the posters, loves the promo, loves the history, wants to bring the legends, wants to, show them the respect and love that they deserve and have earned. It's something that has been celebrated. This is all combat sports fans and boxing fans in particular have ever wanted. They've just wanted the big fights to be made. And most of them don't care where it happens. They just want to see it happen. It almost seems like we're living in a bit of a fantasy world. Like it doesn't seem real at the moment. And I think it's great that it's finally happening, and long may it continue. I hope that we get to see these fights, because what's the point of all of this? If the top guys aren't going to fight each other, what's the point?
Of course, before we're saying, well, why Saudi Arabia? Why not? Well, remember, the place to be back in the day was Las Vegas. That's where all the big fights were. That's where you saw it all. Now, this is the new Mecca. This is becoming the new Mecca because there's such possibility for such big fights to happen, and the excuses are being taken away.
Are there kids that they can't wait to be alright?
Hello, everybody. Hello. Good seeing you. Hi. The most important thing, when you are to the point where you're competing, you want to control the other person in the ring. First, number one, you must control this person, this person, this person, this little guy.
What is boxing? How does it turn on that flame? By giving kids pride. You give kids a reason to feel good about themselves. Magic happens.
Fear is your friend. God put it there for a reason. But you must learn to live with it, to control it, to use it. That's what you have to learn, to control your emotions, not let it control you.
You give them a reason to have pride. You give them a reason to care about themselves, that there's something worth caring about.
Flip, flip, flip. So weight forward, ready.
A kid has to believe that he or she is worth something.
Good, step out. Be ready, be ready. That's it, step out. That's
and
better.
Boxing gives them that self-worth.
Faster, come on, faster. Come on, little mighty Mike. Stay here. Put on your shoulders, okay? Keep your legs, your feet up, good.
Growing up in the boxing system here, I didn't have a boxing ring.
I didn't have a boxing bag. I didn't even have boxing on TV.
All you need to do is clear the punch. All right? Now you clear the punch, what could you do? You can hit me here. You can hit me here. Never come back here. Don't come back here.
When I was younger, I used to Google boxing, Saudi Arabia, professional boxers to idolize, to look up to. So when I was Googling it and finding nobody, it was so hard for me to find it realistic to actually make it.
The only way, the only time when there is no hope and no chance is when you quit. Otherwise, there's always hope. There's always a chance. Always.
But then I realized realistic dreams are only as realistic as you make them, not as realistic as they make it.
Hailing from right here, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Ziyad Zizou Al-Mayoun.
The kids coming up now can Google Zizou and see that there is the Saudi boxer who did it.
First ever Saudi Arabian professional boxer, Ziyad Al-Mayoun.
It's more about what this opportunity will create for the athletes and the boxers coming after me, the opportunities it will create for them.
And then I like that really quick hand.
I want to be the first of many to do all of this.
Every fight he seems to have improved. We're already seeing it here.
Every time you go through the process of getting a fight, going through the waiting, the night before when you can't sleep, when you're sitting in the locker room and you're so nervous, your heart is beating so hard, you look down to see if your shirt is moving. When you go through that experience, you get closer to becoming the fighter you want to become.
Looking at Al-Mayoun here, liking what I'm seeing.
This is it, final 10 seconds.
Incredible, incredible stuff.
Your winner, Ziyad Zizou Al-Mayoun.
And you know what I see? I see something that says, Teddy, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay, all right?
I do this for them, and then they could do it bigger and better.
And I look around, I see the world, people not caring about each other. And I come all the way over here on a 12-hour freaking flight, and I see all these beautiful young kids, respectful, caring, compassionate, and I say, wow, there's hope.
How about we all say champion? 1, 2, 3.
Champion! Hello. How are you? Good. Yeah. How are you? Good. Good? Yeah. You remember this classic? You ever watched Dragon Ball Z? What's that? Have you ever watched Dragon Ball Z? And there's Super Saiyan race of people from different planets that are just on smoke, like they're serious. Goku, no? Yeah. I've always wanted to watch it, you know. Always wanted to watch it, and I thought, this is my time. Yeah. It made you realise that there are elite fighters of this planet, and once you find out your true purpose, your goal is to conquer. And that's what mine is. An elite fighter.
5 figures. I'll keep it 5.
Yeah.
It's very important for a boxer to find the right trainer. You'll get trainers who have all the knowledge, have all the world champions, but if it doesn't click with you, then they're no good for you. You have to find the right fit. So that's very important. And when you've been where Anthony Joshua is at the top of the tree, and you've had a really good trainer, of course, in Robin McCracken, to find a replacement is very difficult because you're used to that bond, that unity.
My license, I've got cold. But I've got cold. Yeah. But
The coach he's now alighted with, Ben Davison, is right for him mentally, physically, in terms of strategy, maybe even metaphysically.
He knew some of the lads in the gym, he spent a lot of time on the squad with the McCormack twins. He just popped down to tick over and one thing sort of led to another.
Ben Davison is so analytical He is the guy that will watch tape on a fighter over and over and over and find the smallest chink in the armor. He will literally look at a fighter's left hand, right hand, the feet, how the fighter moves when he's under pressure, how a fighter fights off the rope. That's what Ben Davison has brought to boxing, which we probably didn't see before. And I think AJ absolutely loves it.
Yeah, I just think that the relationship and the understanding and all the rest of it just seemed to click.
You can't forget that even though you need all the technical expertise from a trainer, it's the bond. Because you need to trust him when he's telling you things you don't want to hear. And somehow with Ben Davison, in this very short time, the belief is there.
So he's almost a new school coach that's changed the way trainers approach fights, and it's working for AJ. I think we saw it against Otto Volin. I think in about 10 years' time, we're going to see 100 Ben Davisons, because I think they're all going to be like that.
Right, 20 single legs, running men, one up at a time. Take your time.
My mentality is to give my best. My mentality is to get through the pain, because I know in an hour I won't remember this. So my mentality is to get through whatever they put me through while I'm here. Be present, free, keep on going. 3.5. Yeah. Win.
Je suis Fomo Michel Jaurès, le petit frère de Francis.
Déjà, moi, je me prénomme Gaïm Nosussusi Robert. Je suis le secrétaire général de la fondation Francis Angano depuis la création au Cameroun.
This one's straight. It's better to be humble, this straightforward.
Fondation Francis Angano, c'était juste pour donner une occasion aux enfants de la communauté d'avoir la chance que lui n'a pas eu quand il était petit, d'avoir une salle, pouvoir aller s'exercer, travailler, s'entraîner. Parce que lui, à son époque, c'est ça qui manquait en fait.
Après, ce n'est pas juste le sport ou bien le sport de combat. Après, à côté, on a aussi, c'est pour donner l'espoir aux enfants, peut-être qui veulent exercer dans d'autres domaines. Déjà, par exemple, bientôt la Fondation Francis Angano va faire un centre informatique pour donner aux enfants des outils informatiques et les guider comment utiliser.
Permet aux enfants de se découvrir. Il peut venir faire le sport de combat, mais demain il est médecin, il est autre chose. Mais ça peut juste qu'il se découvre, il concentre sur son énergie.
Celui à qui, quand tu regardes un peu son histoire, tu comprends que tu te poses des questions que mais qu'est-ce qui m'empêche de réussir? Si lui, il a pu quitter d'où il était et faire ce qu'il a fait aujourd'hui, qu'est-ce qui m'empêche? Francis, hope you see this. I will always beat you on cool game.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good one.
Francis has improved so much from that Tyson Fury fight, from the way we're training now, from the great sparring partners that we brought in this camp.
Francis a énormément développé. Au niveau offensif aussi, ses attaques sont bien meilleures, elles sont bien plus précises. Donc aujourd'hui, son niveau de compétence ressemble bien plus à un boxeur typique qu'un boxeur de MMA.
30 seconds. Now we're fighting a more conventional guy. A guy who has great weapons, very explosive weapons, and a dangerous guy named Anthony Joshua, one to reclaim his throne. Don't discount it. Francis is a world champion, too. He has a championship pedigree. He understands what being a champion means. And he's had a long, hard life to give him that grit, determination, and mental fortitude to go against any challenge. And that's the fight of Francis Ngannou. Champion versus champion, athlete versus athlete, puncher versus puncher. Who's gonna win? We'll see on March 8th. I'm putting my money on Francis Ngannou. Last one. Last one. Fucking beautiful.
You know what? I feel good. We just finished doing our, what is it, activation type workout? Rotation, core, and making sure that everything's activated. And now we're going to do a bit of boxing, but I feel great. We've worked hard. 7 weeks of camp. Now it's time to enjoy fight week.
We missed the target like 5 times.
Bro, I'm impressed with you guys. I can't do this.
A woman to be.
So we come from a small island, but we're very proud people, and just always believe that we're talented and we can bang with the best in the world. So we're ready to bang, big bang, zhang.
Everyone that has a better or someone like Mickey is well respected because it's a painful process. And whilst I got it done with his brother, I probably won't get one. But I am a high chief, and so I'm very proud of it. And also is representing us. Yeah, I'm representing us in the ring, and he can represent us with the tattoo on his body.
One shot versus one shot. I bet on Angano's one shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome as we get ready for Knockout Chaos, a great night of professional boxing action live this Friday from Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Let's now welcome our participants. The Predator, Francis Ngannou! And let's welcome AJ Anthony Joshua! And now, here is your host, Josh Denzel.
Eddie, this show is called Knockout Chaos, aptly titled. Is that a clue of what to expect come Friday night?
You know, I said earlier in the week, Godzilla against King Kong, two beasts come together, and it's going to be an unbelievable heavyweight spectacle on a massive night of boxing, and we're all very lucky to be here. We're in dreamland for boxing right now. We respect Francis, what he did. I didn't give him any chance against Fury. No chance to win a round. Thought he was sensational.
He surprised us all against Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou. I don't care what anyone says, nobody thought that he could put up that kind of performance. Absolutely nobody.
There were Francis Ngannou's family who truly believed he had a chance and he would win. And then there were liars who said after the fight that he had a chance and he would win. Let's not mince our words here.
You can't beat the best heavyweight on the planet in your first fight. You can't even be competitive. It's the easiest fight in the world for the heavyweight champion to have this sort of fight. It's money for nothing. We all thought that in the boxing world. And anyone with any common sense would have thought the same thing.
When I was one of them, I thought, this guy's not got a break. He's not got a chance. He's coming into our sport. I'm a boxing snob. No guy from another sport's coming to our sport and do that. I'm like, nah, that's a done deal. Angano shocked and surprised us all.
He kept his shape really well. He didn't bring that right foot forward when he threw the right hand. He moved behind the jab. He looked like a more structured fighter in that fight than the champion, Tyson Fury. So I was unbelievably impressed. I couldn't believe it.
Angano controlling the centre of the ring. He doesn't look like a novice. He looks like a seasoned boxing professional in there against a man who's never been beaten.
I was not in Riyadh for the fight on October 28th because it was my daughter's birthday, but I was watching it. And I will be honest, when I watch fights, I try to watch as an unbiased journalist. I try not to root for anyone. And I really like Tyson Fury a lot. I was not necessarily rooting against Tyson Fury. I was rooting for a moment. I wanted to see something spectacular. And I will be honest, when he dropped Tyson Fury,
Down he goes! Down goes Fury! Down goes Fury!
I jumped out of my chair, and we were waiting to sing happy birthday for my daughter. I was like, we can't do this right now. I need to witness this, because I felt like I was witnessing history. I felt like I was witnessing something that I'll be talking about until my days are done.
Francis Ngannou has just scored a knockdown against the heavyweight champ!
That was a night that I came out to prove people wrong. I think it's my Muhammad Ali moment.
In boxing, somehow, he managed to put a guy in a ring that had never been in a ring, and he managed to beat our king. How does that even work? And what's more, he embarrassed him in the third round by dropping him with a perfect counter. He shouldn't even be able to throw a perfect counter, let alone connect on the chin stroke neck and drop the best heavyweight in the world.
And the heavyweight champion has to pick himself off the canvas!
We knew what Francis could do, and when it happened, it was like the whole world lit up in our eyes.
To be honest, when I think of Battle of the Baddest, I think like we changed boxing history. You know what I mean? I really feel like we were living in a movie.
A superb accomplishment by Angano.
And it was, well, I'll say it, I think even in defeat, that's the best debut in the history of the sport.
Yeah, another night next time. Properly this time.
I tell you, your only chance is in the ring, in the boxing ring with the boxing rules. When you step off of that ring, you better stay 5 meters away before I stuck your shit. Because if I lose it, you're gonna have a really bad time, my friend. So respect the fact that boxing is protecting you, us, and the rules of boxing is protecting us. Because out of that, without that, you are nothing in front of me. I beat you every day. Twice on Sunday.
There's obviously an incredible incentive for the winner of this fight.
We're not looking past this fight. This is my main focus. So the incentives and all that stuff is just to win. I'll step up to the plate. You know, I've been in the ring with Zhang. We've shared the ring before. I've shared the ring with Parker. One day I'll share the ring with Tyson.
One look maybe you haven't seen is obviously Francis coming at you in the ring. He says he plans to knock you out.
Let's go.
He's looking for that shot.
Let's go.
Are you fighting fire with fire?
100%. Let's go. It's already written in the stars what's going to happen. I'm just going to follow my destiny.
Right, this
the best man will always win. It's not rocket science, as my boy Cena says. The best man will always win.
Hello, you okay? The way I see it, AJ, two-time world champion. I met him for the first time in person the other night. A specimen of a man, gigantic fella. And I seen him in his last fight against Wally. He's got the eye of the tiger back because he went through a bad patch mentally. I think Ben Davis has done a great job. I think he's got him to a place mentally where he needs to be. But Francis Ngannou can shock the world. He's been elbowed in the face, kicked in the face, drop kicked in the face. People fell on him, jumped on him. He's a tough guy, and he's got pride, he's got passion, he's got power in both hands, and he can box. He cuts the ring off well, he keeps you under pressure constantly, and he wants to prove a point. But if AJ boxes behind a nice jab, keeps him turning, keeps him moving, keeps him thinking, dropping the big shots in, I won't rule out AJ knocking him out. I think a mentally strong AJ believes in himself. He can move mountains, and he's a threat to anybody, even my own son. Hey kids, hey! 25. Hey!
Hello.
He said, oh, I beat Tyson Fury. I said, did you vote beat me? I said, you're the one who's got a loss on your record. I had a shit night, I had a bad performance. Great, get over it. Shit happens in life. But, you know, when I get him next time, I'm going to end him. I hope he wins, actually. I wanted Joshua to win, like up until last night. And then, because he thinks he's a big man, because I paid him a few $1 million, yeah? And now all of a sudden he's got some money and he's a big G. Well, I want him to win now so I can absolutely smash his face in next time. Destroy him. I've got to fight Usyk twice this year to become undisputed, then do a rematch for Bance, yeah? Then, I'll fight the one of them two, but I hope it's Angano now, because I really want to beat his ass really bad. But not only am I going to beat him in a boxing fight, when I retire after I've become the undisputed champion, I'm fucked him up in a boxing fight. I'm then going to do him in a cage as well.
Good. It was good yesterday.
What do you think of this?
Yeah. Some guy offered to do mine, you know.
There's a guy in there, he's unbelievable barber.
Okay. Come on, Paris.
When's he waiting now?
He comes up to me and tells me that he wrestled. I'm like, yeah, right. And then he's showing me with Stone Cold, with Steve Austin and Brian Pillman.
Yeah. And I wrestled Ravishing Rick Rude.
Wow. How many wins?
As many as Angano has right now as a boxer. But yeah, so there I am as a young tyke there,
Wow,
19 years
that.
old. Pillman really kicked my ass. There's me and Steve locking up here.
Wow, that's amazing. Him and Steve Austin. You know, I've never seen an Anthony Joshua fight in person. Irresistible force, immovable object. Like, these two guys are behemoths, chiseled out of stone. It's different than the, it's different than the Fury face-offs because, like, one of these things is not like the other. Here, they're both almost carbon copies of each other, which is very fun. When that date was first announced, I'm like, I know this date. This date is something. Arguably the most famous date in the history of heavyweight boxing and arguably boxing period is March 8, 1971. The fight of the century, Madison Square Garden, Ali Frazier won. At the Mecca, everyone's there. Frank Sinatra's ringside taking photos for Life magazine. 54, I do believe, years later, March 8, 2024, the fight of the century might have some company if Francis is able to pull this off. Isn't that amazing?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is without a doubt power versus power. One of the most dramatic heavyweight confrontations you'll see in many, many years. 10 rounds it's scheduled for, and it's in the heavyweight division. Let's bring the fighters to the stage at this time. First, he shocked the world in his boxing debut right here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And now, he plans to shock the world again. Le Predator, Francis Angano! And now, his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, he's an Olympic gold medal champion and the former two-time heavyweight champion of the world, AJ Anthony Joshua. Power versus power, the Predator versus AJ. The main event tomorrow night here in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
I should have done the golf last night. They're never going to be finished.
On the 5th of March, we had a football match here. And today is the 8th of March, and we're having a boxing match.
I really can't describe the feeling. I get goosebumps, you know.
Our biggest challenge, I think, was getting all the contractors to agree to do such a crazy project in such a short time was unseen. It's 24 hours to install the flooring, to protect the grass, to do all the AVL, all the requirements from all the boxing federations, to get everything safe and ready to go was the biggest challenge.
Man, nobody's sleeping. We're working around the clock. Level of coordination is crazy. 3 days ago, they were sitting over here watching a football game. And then boom, out of damn ring over here, man. It's crazy.
Every little detail is adding to the experience. You feel the power.
Words can't describe the level of pride we have, honestly. Sky is not the limit, I think. It's above and beyond what we're doing now.
I mean, it's a tremendous card from top to bottom. A lot of times in boxing, one or two really good fights. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this party started! With this show, every fight is a tremendous fight. It's going to be a great night of boxing.
You hold the key, don't talk like that. Don't talk like that. Don't talk like that.
There's jeopardy everywhere, isn't there? It's a story. It's like it's all come to life.
But my money went back down, baby.
What's going
going on in the boxing climate at the moment is just crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
For the first time in a long time, it feels like promoters are working together. No better example than Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn.
There is so much happening in the boxing world in Saudi Arabia. I mean, we've never seen anything like it.
44 seconds to go. The crowd screaming at him.
It's capturing the imagination of not just the fighter fan, not just the sports fan, but the general public. And that's what you want.
We call the US the land of dreams. This is the land where the dreams come true.
The big thing that's happening in Saudi is that they are making the fight happen.
He's just relentless. Oh, he got him again!
Production for these events has been top of the line.
I know I'm a part of history. All of us, you all behind the camera, you all watching this. If you're here in Riyadh, if you're watching these monumental events, just know that you are a part of history.
This is the opportunity for all these guys to demonstrate that they're the guys that should be getting that next shot. If these guys can keep performing with His Excellency, he'll unlock that opportunity. Very similar with Joe Parker.
I've been lucky enough to have spoken to Zhili Zhang's management team all week. And they said, look, they offered this fight out to so many different fighters, I'm not going to name names. The only person that put their hand up and said, yes, I'll take this fight, Joseph Parker. Why does Joseph Parker put his hand up to take this fight? Because he's a fighter. He's a New Zealand boy.
I love this. When people say they love fighting, sometimes they mean it, sometimes they don't really mean it. They love what comes with fighting. They love winning, and they love the attention, but I do love fighting.
I said that Zhili Zhang's the top 3 heavyweight. Joseph Parker, top 5. Are we looking at 2 guys in the top 5 mixing it with each other today?
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Can't be Mr. Nice Guy all the time. I want to go out there and smash someone's face and bust his nose, break his eyes.
World heavyweight champ Joseph Parker in action against Chinese powerhouse Zhili Zhang.
The ultimate dream is to be champion of the world, but it takes steps to get there, and you can't look too far ahead. Because there's someone in front of you who has the same goal and who wants the same thing.
I love this fight. And as we've said all week long, any arena, any city in the world, this is the main event.
My name is Lupe Soliaulauli Alemale to Joseph Parker. And I carry that name with pride.
Without further ado, let's get it on. Zhili Zhang versus Joseph Parker.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the final 2 fights here in Knockout Chaos, and they're both in the heavyweight division. Let's go. Let's go. We're ready for the big boys of boxing.
So going into this fight, I know Zhang, he wants to bang me and I want to smash him.
I cannot wait for this one. The people's main event.
When you walk out the change rooms, the Uso chant, can you just tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, what is it, Bossa? When you do Chihu, it's like a...
It's just a walk.
Yeah. When you walk out to the ring and when you hear someone go, Chihu! That's when you know it's time for action.
Round 1. Scheduled for 12 here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Left to the body.
Just trying to force Parker to throw his knee.
Once again, you don't like the pressure.
But Parker knows if he makes a mistake, he's going to be in trouble, isn't he? A shot there from Joseph Parker.
Chess match right now. Both trying to set up an attack to find their rear hand. He looks huge, Zong. He really does.
This man has got unnatural power, even in the heavyweight division. Like a touch of sleep once.
Can't take any silly mistakes with this right attack, yeah. Zhang definitely noticed something there in Parker.
Let's see if he goes for gusto now. Good body shot. Haven't seen a lot of those from Sean. Oh, Joe! Tiring, Joe, into the body. It's interesting. This could, I think, still swing for either of these men. Round 3.
But this is better science from John.
Counting on the knockout, it seems like so much on the line, and with these 2 fighters, it could be over in an instant. As we know, it only takes 1. Oh, and just like that, big bang!
Hey, what a shot! Just put it out there. Yeah, I mean, it was straight on the chin of Parker. Huge shot.
I'm a New Zealand Samoan, and our people from Samoa, warrior people, we fight to the death.
Parker's got blood coming out of the top of his nose. cut there.
I like to represent our people, and I know there's a lot of pride from when I go back to New Zealand and go back to Samoa that they're very proud.
Oh, and he caught him with another left. Parker covering up. Can Sean get him out of here before the bell rings? No, he can't.
I'm not going to have my coach throwing a towel. I'm not going to go out of my shield.
Oh, right hand, and that knocked him off balance. And now Parker may see something.
Parker's feints are really working for him. Now we're seeing that warrior spirit.
Jab to the body, had to give. Right hand from Parker. His corner also saying, let your hands go. Oh, right hand from Parker, and that woke Zhang up.
You won't find a tougher man than Joseph Parker. He will keep getting up until he has no breath left.
Aggressive on the front foot now. Yes.
Better now than he was in the early round.
You talked about the heart that he shows, Mike, and he has proven it again tonight. Sean was jumping up and down after the third, thinking he'd won the fight. He started the parade, but Joseph Parker canceled it and may have just beaten the Big Bang here tonight.
The hardest part about boxing is being away from your family. You know, I got a wife and 4 beautiful daughters, and my wife's pregnant with another baby on the way, so she's holding it down back home.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards.
It's very hard to be away. So I'm looking forward to putting on a great performance, and then the best part is flying home and seeing my girls at the airport.
Sultan Enyedi scores the contest. 113. 113, he has it even. Steve Gray has it 114, 112. Patrick Marley, 115, 111. To the winner by majority decision.
I'm always dad and I'm always their hero. And I'm just trying to be a great example for my kids.
And new WBO interim heavyweight champion, the fighting pride of New Zealand, Big Jose.
My goal now is to get home and be dad and be the best husband I can be.
The moment has arrived. Angano versus AJ. You've known AJ his whole career. This is a different kind of pressure than he's ever felt before, wouldn't you say?
Yes, it is, and we've been hearing that in some of the interviews that we've been playing out tonight. He knows what defeat here tonight will mean in terms of his whole reputation.
I think the best word to describe this fight, jeopardy. Full of risk. This may be one of the first fights I've ever watched like that.
The main event is here, ladies and gentlemen, and we cannot wait.
Like the idea of being ringside, the bell goes, and these two monsters, and by the way, they are monsters, 6'5", 6'6", 260 pounds each. Like they need to reinforce the ring for this one. I have no idea how this fight's gonna play out.
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Like, who is going to come out on top?
This is a fight that could just be over in the blink of an eye. It might be over before it even gets started. Both can crack, both can take each other out. It's whoever lands first.
I don't think it goes 10 rounds.
Don't go and try and put the kettle on, don't go and get a coffee, don't get your popcorn, have it ready. Because this is one of those, as soon as the bell goes, anything can happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've all been waiting for in knockout tales.
March the 8th, who wins? This is where the roads diverge a little bit.
But I believe in boxing pedigree. I believe in all that stuff you pick up when you're boxing against Cubans and Russians and Kazakhs and Uzbeks. I believe in all those dreadful hotel rooms you have to stay at when you're in the old parts of Siberia, 6 to a room, 3 high bunk beds, eating junk food. I believe you absorb it all. I also believe that Francis Angano is inspired by his history, his backstory. He's fighting for a past to create a future. I believe in that.
On paper, I stand by the fact that Anthony Joshua should be able to deal with this guy and knock him out in quick fashion. But but you cannot rule out a guy that has overcome so much in his life, like Francis Ngannou.
The Predator, Francis Ngannou!
What happens when you hit Francis Ngannou and he doesn't move? That is a big worry.
Making his entrance to the ring, AJ Anthony Joshua!
There's far more at stake when these two fight than just a win and a loss on their records.
The fights don't get much bigger. The athletes don't get much bigger.
AJ is also fighting for his future to save his past as well.
Two heavy hitters in a fight labeled knockout chaos.
Because if he gets beaten, he won't just get criticised, he'll get skewered.
AJ, at this stage of your career, tell me, what's the dream?
The dream? It's a great question. What is the dream? Well, the thing is in my sport, it don't matter if you win, it only matters when you lose. A footballer can lose, a darts player can lose, a snooker player can lose, but when a boxer loses, you know that you're well known. You know, everyone comes out from the closet and from under the rug. It's just the nature of our sports. I know people underestimating me and I want to prove it to myself that I can do it and I'm better than what I think I am. Because everything is mental. Your mind goes through so much, so many thoughts throughout the day. So you better keep your mind fixed on wall. Don't let it be distracted. Don't waver, don't get comfortable. Because from my job of sitting in where I'm sitting, I'm a fighter. And that's it. So from my mentality, I'm selfish, or I'm whatever you want to call me. All I know is that I'm a fighter, and I'm a fighter that wants to win. That's all I care about. Francis brings massive threats, and so be it. Let's go. Let me figure out what threat he brings and let me overcome it.
Here we go! Starts with a nice long left hook, Angano. With a lazy jab to the body from AJ. Angano already looks a little more comfortable than he did against Tyson Fury. You can see every time AJ throws a jab, Angano looks to throw the left hook. Long jab here from Angano, blocked by AJ. Good right hand to the body as well from Angano. Straight right. He really does shape up well as a boxer, Angano. Well balanced, good high guard. Jab from AJ. More feints from AJ. Just try and draw out that lead from Angano. You feel like this fight could be over in a second. A little clip on the chin. Focus. AJ touched him, he went down! This is what was supposed to happen when Fury faced Angano. What a shot! Straight right hand. Down the prime of Angano.
To be honest with you, I'm just here today to find out how far I can go by myself, without putting any pressure on myself.
What a stunner! He's hurt! Let's see if AJ jumps right on it.
Boxing was my first dream for decades since I left home, I have like a tough path getting here. But at the end of the day, this fight is another proof that nothing is impossible, that no dream is unachievable. For me, that's great, no matter what happens.
How aggressive will AJ be? He knows if he can hit him with a good shot, Angano will go down. Patience after from AJ, very important. Oh, he got himself there. Yeah, he did. With the left hook on the top, there's a nice right to the body. Well, I thought Angano was having a good round up into that one, actually. Not rushing, no need. Big round for Andy Joshua. Already doing something Fury couldn't do. Put Angano down.
This whole experience of me being here right now, I could have been doing anything and I would have still been motivated, but I'm just doing boxing, so I'm just making the most of this opportunity that's been presented to me. And it's just that, it's just my mindset. I'm just motivated, I'm just hungry, and I'm only here once.
Knockout just after his down. And that's there for AJ. Angano likes to parry the jab with the right hand. Josh is well aware of the power of Angano. He's felt it now. He's well aware of it.
now, Ngannou. We talked about how comfortable Angano looked in that first round compared to against Fury. Maybe he was too comfortable, Mike. Just taking that right hand on the left glove. And again, that right hand from Joshua lands not quite as cleanly this time. Ready to Ngannou though, he's still trying to hold the centre of the ring. Right hand, he's
I only share this with my wife, but it's not a fun job.
And credit to Angano getting up twice, but that third knockout was really, really ferocious.
Nobody stands up to that.
One of my first meetings with Francis, I said, bro, you have to understand, I really believe that it's bigger than you. You know what I mean? Yes, you're gonna be champion, yes, you're gonna be great, but what really I saw is the impact that he's gonna have on the continent of Africa. The people, sorry, fuck.
And thankfully Angano now sitting up, they're giving him oxygen, my word.
Pour moi, Francis, c'est une personne très inspirante. Parce que c'est le synonyme de la résilience. Il s'est passé de nombreuses fois où il a été en mesure de pouvoir se dépasser et à chaque fois, sur chaque épreuve, il a démontré sa force mentale, sa force physique et de la plus belle des manières.
It's good to see this man back on his feet, recovered.
For me, Angano, before the opportunity to box him ever presented itself, I've always said the man's an inspiration because it's like the people's champ. People can relate to the struggle. So I could relate to Ngannou's struggle. I just want to say, one bad moment doesn't make up the whole picture.
Well, think about how many dreams, people can unlock from Africa, because they see one of their own. You get me? He's unlocking, hope.
L'espoir que les choses sont possibles. Si tu le souhaites, si tu veux le faire, tu peux être capable de pouvoir le réaliser.
I have all the faith in the world that you're gonna see so many more Francis Ngannous, right? So many more people that are going to bet on themselves out of the continent of Africa just because of what Francis chose to do long before any of us really knew him.
He's a great champion, and this doesn't take away anything of his capabilities because in boxing is one or the other, right? He can come again. Do you think Francis can come again? That's what I'm talking about, yeah, he can come again.
We want all the athletes and the sport people and the fighters to be similar to Joshua as a human. Good heart, you don't listen to bad words about him. He's like this in front of the camera and out behind the camera. This is Joshua.
I'm just pushing day by day, and whoever knows where it will take me, I'm just doing it while I'm here, making the most of it, because imagine in 5 years, I'm not going to be fighting anymore. It's all going to be said and done, and this will all be a distant memory, so I'm just trying to make the most of it.
And just like that, knockout chaos came to an end. And like anything in boxing, there were some winners, and there were some losers. But the beautiful thing is, that's the story of life.
Ever wanna be so long. I'm never gonna have to see. I know that I'll never ever cry. I'll go. I know that you love me so. Sun shines on my front door. Sun shines on my front door.